Hey guys, today I'm going to show you on how to replace Dyson brushes from the Dyson brush head for the cordless vacuums. You're going to need a Sharpie marker, a hammer, a T10 Torx screwdriver, and then another 4-inch long screwdriver. The shaft should be around like 4 inches or a bit longer. That's for the regular Dyson v11 cordless, and if you have the Dyson v11 outsize or Dyson outsize plus, you're going to need a screwdriver that's a bit longer in order to remove the brushes from the brush bar. In this case, I think 6 inches will be ideal. Let's get started. Oh, already done this once, but like I'm just going to redo it to show you guys on how it works. So um so first you have to get the brush bar out, which isn't too difficult for the outside series, and then you can see that's a screw we need to take off before we can actually access the brushes. So in this case, a T10 will be ideal. T10, here we go. T10 at the camera focus. So we're going to remove this one, and make sure you take a couple of pictures before you take apart everything, so that you know the orientation of the brushes to the brush bar. But I already have a good idea of this, where you can use this video as a guidance. So remove this aside. Now we're going to remove this bearing from the plastic shaft. Be very careful not to break the plastic shaft from the plastic body as inside here. Since this is a Dyson outsize, it's going to be quite a bit longer. Because there's an empty hollow point on the inside. So you need a 6-inch screwdriver, to say the least. In this case, I use a 6-inch of flathead screwdriver, and that should be able to do the trick. Once you insert the screwdriver, make sure the blade is perpendicular. Make sure the blade can actually touch the bearing to push the bearing out of the shaft. That's what I'm trying to say. Or if you have a Torx screwdriver, that'll also work. So do you guys see how the blade is actually touching the bearing? So that's what we're going to do. Make sure you don't lose orientation of this thing. Then you're going to gently hammer this thing out. Gently hammer this thing, because you really don't want to break the plastic shaft. Well, here we go. That's the bearing removed from the shaft, and yeah, just be careful. This is a plastic shaft, and they really should have made that out of metal, but it is what it is. Now after that, you can remove this plastic piece. You can take it off, and then voila, you can remove the brushes. So in this case, this brush bar is inserted this way, and when it's rotating, it's going forward, and the brushes are in this orientation. Just keep that in mind when you reinsert the black one back in. The softer one. The hard one, I don't think there's really an orientation, because the soft one, it's like the direction is neutral. But in this case, the black one, when the vacuum head is facing upright, the black one is leaning towards the back on the top, and on the bottom it's leaning towards the front. So you can see in this case already. I'll just do this again to show you guys. You can slowly take this thing out. I already replaced mine because this one it has a dead motor on the inside, but the brushes are brand new, almost brand new. So that's what I did. So once that you're done, you can insert this thing back in. So let me just take this whole thing apart. And for this one, the the nylon one, make sure that they have a backing that you don't lose, and just keep everything aside and then organized. In the meantime, if there are loose hair and debris, you can use a scissor to cut and clean out of here, and then yeah. And that's the same thing how you insert everything back. You just just do everything in reverse. And once you're done, you can just insert this thing back in. Just make sure this little tab thing matches with the notch over here, and that's only for the hard brush. For the soft brush, the backing is really thick that this little thing has a notch over here, which will match with this notch over here. So see how this thing lines up. Now let's see. Actually, what I need in this case is okay, I think we're good, and now we can put back this bearing. Make sure you clean the bearing if that's what necessary. Okay, we align this little plastic thing to the tab for the softer roller brush, and use a ruler if it's necessary for you, and then use a Sharpie marker to do any marking if it's necessary for you. When you're replacing the brushes, I mean, and then make sure the bearing is flush with the shaft. It don't have to be too precise, and then you can insert back the screw. Use a T10 screwdriver, and then put everything back together, and then I'll show you how to remove the other one, which is really simple as well. You don't have to make it too tight because it's plastic, plastic shaft, so you don't want to damage anything. And then you just put everything back together. Easy peasy at this point. Right, so this one's done. I'm going to show you how to remove this one. Well, of course, you're going to need a coin. Okay, once that's done, here you just follow the same direction and T10 screwdriver. Oh, no, that's not T10. I mean this one. Right. You could use a flat head if you don't have a T10, but I think, if you don't want to damage anything, it's best to to use a proper screwdriver for this job. And T9 will also work, I think. So in this case, a 4-inch long screwdriver with a relatively flat head. In this case, the Torx one has a flat head, or you can use a regular flat head, but don't use a Philip or anything. And then just insert it in. This one should be much easier than a bit easier than the outside one, because it's like much shorter. And make sure this thing is like aligned with the bearing. Okay, I'm not quite sure whether the tip of the screwdriver aligned with the bearing, and then once that's done, you just position it on this way so that the tip of the screwdriver will be pushing towards the bearing, and then you just give it a gentle push with a hammer. See how the shaft, everything is working properly, and then you just remove this piece, of course, and then there you go. You can remove this piece as you like. And then this piece as you like as well. Dyson really have, it's no replacement instruction for these, but this is how you do it. If you're, and then after everything's done, you place this back. Make sure when this is inserted this way, it'll be going forwards, like going forwards. That's how the brush bar rotates, and then this is how the orientation of the brushes are facing. So okay, so now you put back the cap, align this thing with this, and see this how this plastic piece is aligned with the notch. You can just push it in with your hand, make it flush. It's not that difficult. So. If you're able to find new brushes with a brush bar, do that instead. This is a far more complicated solution, but yeah, you just insert everything back, and everything should work as normal. Then that's how you improve the agitation quality of your vacuum. new brushes, new life for the vacuum. Thank you for watching.